Welcome into another edition of SE Checks In, presented by First Texoma National Bank. We've got former Savage Storm softball player with us, Lindsey Gage, formerly Lindsey Lacey. She played softball here from 2011 to 2012, had 2 years with us. She's from Sherman, Texas, so she's local. She was one of those unique players, first team All Lone Star Conference and first team All Great American Conference. We had that transition year where we went into the Great American Conference. Also, she was an all academic performer for the Savage Storm National Fast Pitch Coaches Association Scholar Athlete. And, you know, when you look at her stats, started 111 games in 2 years for Coach Fabian. That's a lot. 344 lifetime average, just over one hit a game, which in baseball and softball, that'll keep you in the lineup and have you doing good things. 56 stolen bases, 20 RBIs over her career, and the biggest one home run.
You got to throw that in there.
I had to, you know. So, Lindsey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be on here with you and kind of relive the glory days a little bit.
Yeah, I know. That's one fantastic thing about being back here is we do get to talk about the glory days. And softball right now this year is playing very well, and so we actually we swept East Central yester's and so
it's always a good thing whenever you sweep them. So
yes, I know it's going well. Ron, you know, he's so excited. He comes up to us. He said, "Hey, I got a team this year. We can swing it," and they definitely can. So, well, we'll just kind of get started right there. Why Southeastern?
Well, you know, I actually started my playing career at NCTC in Gainesville. So I played 2 years of junior college ball first. And then under Coach Hedrick, he spoke so highly of Southeastern and of Coach Fabian. So, you know, when I was getting to the end of my sophomore year, trying to decide if I wanted to continue playing, what I wanted to do, he kind of hooked me up with Coach Fabian. And I went and visited, loved it, instantly fell in love with it. I felt that, you know, kind of a small town connection at Southeastern, very family friendly atmosphere. And so, you know, when I met with Coach Fabian, and he's wild, you got to love him. But, you know, I just felt like it was the right fit for me. And that's where I ended up.
You know, Coach Fabian is very unique, but I talked to a lot of people that played for him. And after they get done playing, they say all that about him, that he's great, he's unique, he's wild, but they love playing for him, and he's an awesome person. So talk about, you know, coming to Southeastern. What was it like playing at Southeastern, especially for a legend like Coach Fabian?
I learned so much from that man. He's such a good guy. He's hard on his players, but he's one of those where he's going to get on to you, and then, you know, a minute later, he's got his arm around you, calling you sis, telling you all these good things that you did. And so I really appreciated that. And I learned a lot from him. A lot of the stuff that I do now as a coach, it's stuff that I learned from him and stuff that I want to implement in my program because I learned from him. You know, coming in as a junior college transfer, Coach Fabian actually would he brought in myself and then another infielder / outfielder, because I didn't really know where I was going to play, Courtney St. Clair, which, you know, is well known around Southeastern. Coach Fabian would have put us together every time and make us compete. And I was like, oh, come on, Coach. Like, I don't want to go against her every time. I'm going to end up hating this girl. We're going to, you know, and we ended up being best friends. And, you know, I always thank Coach Fabian for that. But he always told me that I never spoke until I met Courtney. He said I was always really quiet. And I was like, I don't know about that. But so it was just a funny thing that Coach Fabian would put us against each other. And he made that kind of rivalry between us, but it ended up being one of my best friends. I loved playing for Coach Fabian. He expected nothing but the best from you, and you always had to give 100%. So, you know, people, when you come in, people are like, you're either going to love him or you're going to hate him.
Yeah.
And so, but to me, he was one of the best coaches I've ever played for. I feel like I've played for some really, really good coaches. I've played for one of the winningest coaches in the state of Texas in high school ball. And then I played for Coach Hedrick at NCTC, which is, you know, he's fantastic, runs a great program there. And then I played for Coach Fabian. So he was definitely hard on me, but he always got the best out of me. Whatever he said to me, made me want to do better and want to be the best player I could be. So there's a funny story with Coach Fabian. We had this play. I'm not going to say the color or whatever it is because, I don't know if he still calls it the same thing, but I was supposed to drop an infield fly and I caught it. And he came out on the field, got so mad at me, and he had his lineup card in his hand, which is a piece of paper, and he got so mad and he threw it down, and then the paper just like floated up in the air because it was, just a piece of paper. And he's coming out at me, yelling at me across the field, "Lindsey, you're one of the smartest players on this team. I can't believe you did that." And I was like scared for my life. I was never going to play again. And then a few minutes later, we get out of the inning and nothing happened. And he like puts his arm around me. He's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think so. I think I'm okay." But I was scared there for just a second. But I loved playing for him.
We had one of the alums come back this weekend, and he was in the dugout, and she was in the dugout, and I just walked in when they were talking, and he had. It's funny you say that. He mentioned to her something happened in the game, and he brought it up, and he turned to her and was like, "Are you still mad at me about that?" Or because something like that happened with him, and it was just really funny because she was like, "Yeah, you'd make me real mad, but I'm glad you did because it makes me better." So you get done playing at Southeastern. Like I said, I listed all your accomplishments: first team all GAC, first team all LSC, lifetime 344, all that. What'd you get your degree in?
I got my degree in health, physical education, and recreation. And then once I finished that, I was actually Coach Fabian's grad assistant and did my grad work in sports administration.
So you got both your degrees from here,
Yes.
Stayed, loved it, being here, being a part of Southeastern softball. So you get done, you graduate with your master's. What was next for you?
I actually went into high school coaching. Teaching and coaching. My first job was actually at Whitesboro, which is local also. I'm in North Texas. So I was actually hired as an assistant coach, and then some things happened and with the head coach, and they asked me if I wanted the job. I was 23 years old, leading a program that was very talented. So it was very stressful, but it ended up working out. We had a really good season. I think I called Coach Fabian probably 5 times a week at that point, trying to make sure I'm doing things right and getting advice from him. So he was definitely a good resource to fall back on. I was at Whitesboro for 2 years, and then I went to Anna, Texas, and I was there for 4 years. So I took over a program that had 2 wins the first year that I got there, and then we just progressively got better. I think they were just needing someone consistent and someone to show them, not only how to play softball, but how to do things the right way, and have someone that believed in them and someone they could kind of fall back on. So my 4th year there, we ended up making it to the state championship game in Class 4A in Texas. So we fell short in the state championship game, but it was really neat. I had one kid that started with me as a freshman, and then that last year that we went to state was her senior year. She was the only kid that stuck with it for 4 years. And so it was very rewarding to see that through, to see something where we started with 2 wins to 5 wins to 10 wins to the state championship game. So that was really neat. And then a couple of years ago, we moved down to the Houston area, and I'm now the head softball coach at Ridge Point High School, which is a 6A program right outside of Houston in Missouri City. Mm-hmm. So busy. My husband's a head football coach, so we kind of follow suit. You know how that's big in Texas. So follow suit there, but definitely make sure that I don't get lost in the shuffle. And being a head coach and being a softball coach is very important to me. So that's one of the things that we always have to consider when we're moving or he's trying to pursue his professionalism in football. So
right. So you kind of went around, and I remember when you were at Anna, but I didn't know you took the team from a 2-win team all the way. I knew you guys ended up making it to the state championship in Texas, but I had no clue you took over a program that had 2 wins.
Yes.
And I'm sure that was a struggle just getting started and all that. So you definitely do stay engaged with us, and that's fantastic. And we've had a lot of facility upgrades the last 5 years. And some softball specific. We've had, especially softball wise, we've had new entryways, new iron rod gating, a new fence that was huge, new locker room stuff, and a new dugouts. So we've had a couple donors step up big time for us that want to see softball changes made out there and things like that. And we've got some big plans as well moving forward into the next year to try to continue to put that field at a premium, because as for a while there, softball was the one going to the World Series. You went to the World Series as a coach. I mean, you've done all that kind of stuff, and softball's been very successful, especially once going into the Great American Conference. Ron had a run there for a while where we were getting bids to host NCAA regionals, which is huge. So, but one of the big changes is, obviously you've probably seen, we upgraded the weight room. It went from what you and I probably worked out in under the stadium, which is brutal, to a brand new 5,000 square foot facility that was the pool that they filled in, and then obviously the turf room and the volleyball venue and all that kind of stuff. What do you think about that when you see pictures of that?
I think it's great. It's awesome. I think it's something that was much needed. I mean, I did have a few pool workouts in that room, so I wouldn't have missed that as an athlete, but the weight room is definitely something that was needed. I believe, Seth, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we have a classroom in the weight room also?
Yeah, we did.
So I remember having classes with the weight room like right next to us. But so I think it's great. I think that's something that we definitely missed out on as athletes at Southeastern. And I think that's going to, when you're bringing kids in, recruits in, and you're showing them your facilities, that you want it to be something that you're proud of. And I think definitely your donors stepping up. And I know you've done a lot of work in getting people to help upgrade facilities. So I think it's very impressive. And I think it allows sports to get what they need to get out of the weight room.
Well, one positive is, we've got people that are engaged, and that's huge. That's half the battle, is getting people back engaged with us and being involved at Southeastern. And obviously with the turf room, and then obviously, the softball field upgrades and stuff, we're going to continue to push to give ourselves and our student athletes the best possible chance to compete in postseason play, because that's what it is right now. I mean, you see what we go up against, and that's the standard. That's my standard, is we want to get to that point. And so I appreciate you taking time today, sitting down with us. I got just a couple more things before we finish up. I always ask people this before we finish. What are some things that you want to say that I may not have asked you, or is there anything that you want to get out there? Now's your time.
I think that Southeastern is a great place to be. I met some of my lifelong friends, Seth, you being one of those people that we've kept in touch with over the years. I can remember after practice, all of us getting together and figuring out, okay, what sporting event are we going to? Was it volleyball that weekend? Was it football? Was it baseball? Who was playing? And I think that's very hard to do when you start getting into college. I mean, you're busy. But I do feel like that was something that we made a point of, was supporting other programs, finding ways to build connections with other athletes. Some of my good friends were basketball players, volleyball players, baseball players. So I think that Southeastern does a really good job of providing that opportunity for the athletes. For me personally, Southeastern was the best thing that's happened to me as far as college. I got a very good education. I can remember Miss Hudson, Dr. Daigle, Dr. Reed, all these people that played a really, really large part in my life and getting to me to where I am today, making me want to coach and be a coach and be an educator. I can remember sitting through those classes, and Miss Hudson, I can remember sitting in her office many days and just talking about, what's like to be an educator and what it's like to influence kids. And very, very thankful for that. So, if people are looking at coming to Southeastern, I think that's huge. I think that's something that's not offered at a lot of places, and you don't get that at a lot of different colleges. So, to me, Southeastern did a lot for me in my life, and I'm very thankful for that.
So that kind of leans into the last question I typically ask is, what does Southeastern Oklahoma State University mean to you? And you kind of hit the nail on the head right there with that. So, we talked about softball having a good year this year. I should have had the record ready, but right now the Fighting Ron Fabians are 25-4, and so they are playing very well right now. We're hopeful this week will creep into the national conversation. Last week we received votes, so hopefully we will eventually get back to where we're nationally ranked. But we've got two pitchers that are very, very talented, and we definitely swing it. And it's fun, and it's fun just watching Ron coach those girls because he's having a lot of fun. Did you know that he got a Corvette?
Oh, I did not know that. That's very fitting.
Yes,
I think maybe.
He bought a Corvette. He was very excited about it, and it is cherry red and it goes fast. And so he said he wanted to get a Corvette. So he showed up one day with it, and it was funny because I was leaving the office one day and I see Cherry driving Ron's Corvette, and I was like, "That's not Ron in the Corvette." So that part was really funny. But yeah. Ron got a Corvette, and so I don't know if we should be concerned or not, but you know how that is. So he's excited. He drives it all the time, and he parked one day outside my office, and I was like, "Golly, whose sports car is that?" And I go out there, and I just see Ron getting out of it with a stack of papers, to come.
Oh, of course.
So,
that's good stuff. Yeah. I wonder, does that mean is he leading into retirement or what? He said he was going to retire my senior year, which was 2012. And here we are, 2021.
Yeah.
And he's still going strong. So, I don't even know how old he is. He's been the same age for like 20 years and doesn't age. So
I think he's 55. I think he's 55. But here's the deal, we're 25-4. Why would you want to leave that? You know what I'm saying? So
definitely. He was, my senior year, we were 40-15 and we did not get in. Mm-hmm. And so he was very heartbroken about that because, at that point we had just moved into the Great American Conference. So if you didn't win your conference, like you had to get the bid. So it was one of those, we lost in the championship game that year and we were 40-15 and he was like, "Oh, we're going to get in. Like, don't worry about it. We're going to get in." And we didn't. And he was like, "Oh, I think I should just retire."
Gosh.
So, but 10 years later, almost, here he is.
Yeah, and we're still playing at a high level, and he's having fun, and it's I love it. I love it too. Just I'm down the third base line, and he'll mid at bat turn to me and be like, "Hey, watch this," and I'm just like, "What?" And we're talking about the game, and he's got great players. We've got a great team, and they're certainly fun to watch, and I don't think we've played at our best yet, which is great. We've beat teams, we run ruled teams. We've had the 1-0 games, and so we're still gelling as a team, and I think that's good. You want to gel as you move into the postseason because that's when you want to be playing your best. And so he's definitely done a good job there, and but I don't think we would be where we would without players like you that played early when we were here in 2010, 2011, 2012, that really kind of set the tone for what we are today, because like I said, he's had multiple NCAA appearances, World Series appearances, and done things like that. So, well, I appreciate you taking time today, sitting down with us, talking about Southeastern. What else? Is there anything else that you thought of?
No, I enjoyed every second of it. I miss it. I wish we could go back in time a little bit, but definitely thankful for my time there, and thankful for Coach Fabian, and thankful for you for getting us back out there and, talking about all the things that Southeastern's done for these athletes.
Well, I definitely won't stop promoting Southeastern and the university because, that I'm very passionate about that. But, the only negative thing I have to say is you move south, and so you don't get to come see games because I know, it is nice seeing alums, like we had this weekend, come up and see Coach Fabian and sit in the dugout and talk and hear Coach talk to them because he remembers everything. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
He was talking to her, and you remember this? Yes, Coach, I remember that. You made me so mad. And he's just laughing. He's like, I know, but and so it just, how he gets. And so fantastic. So, well, again, I appreciate you taking time. And again, thanks to First Texoma National Bank for being the presenting partner of this SC Alumni Check-In. So take care. Go Storm.